Please sit down. There will be a class now. Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming for this Saturday feast lecture, which happens every Saturday. Is there anybody coming for the first time? All of you? Yes, welcome. You already came. Yeah. Those of you who have come for the first time, you are welcome. We do have these lectures every Saturday and Sunday weekends in the evening. And of course, every day we will have morning also, Bhagavatam lecture. So today I have been put on the roster, so I will make an attempt to speak something from the Bhagavad Gita. So I will directly go to the section. Today I will be speaking on chapter 4, Transcendental Knowledge, which is known as chapter's title is Transcendental Knowledge, and then go to the verse 13, I suppose. 13. Yeah. So I will recite the sloka line by line. If you can, please repeat after me. Chaturvarnam varnyam maya srishtam aturvarnam maya srishtam guna karma vibhagasaha tasya kartaram apimam vidhiyakartaram avyayam. So here Krishna is speaking. Lord Krishna, you see on the central altar there, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is speaking to Arjuna on the subject matter of transcendental knowledge. So what does this translation runs like this? According to the three modes of material nature and the work associated with them, the four divisions of human society are created by me. And although I am the creator of this system, you should know that I am yet the non-doer, being unchangeable. So Prabhupada also gives, not only translates, but also gives given a purport here, which I will read. The Lord is the creator of everything. Everything is born of Him, everything is sustained by Him, and everything after annihilation rests in Him. He is therefore the creator of the four divisions of the social order, beginning with the intelligent class of men, technically called Brahmanas, due to their being situated in the mode of goodness. Next is the administrative class, technically called Kshatriyas, due to their being situated in the mode of passion. The mercantile men called Vaishyas are situated in the mixed modes of passion and ignorance. And the Shudras or laborer class are situated in the ignorance mode of material nature. In spite of his creating the four divisions of human society, Lord Krishna does not belong to any of these form human society. Human society is similar to any other animal society, but to elevate men from the animal status, the above mentioned divisions are created by the Lord for the systematic development of Krishna consciousness. The tendency of a particular man towards work is determined by the modes of material nature, which he has acquired. Such symptoms of life, according to the different modes of material nature, are described in the 18th chapter of this book. A person in Krishna consciousness, however, is above even the Brahmana. Although Brahmanas by quality are supposed to know about Brahman, the supreme absolute truth, most of them approach only the impersonal Brahman manifestation of Lord Krishna. But a man who transcends the limited knowledge of a Brahmana and teaches the knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, becomes a person in Krishna consciousness, or in other words, a Vaishnava. Krishna consciousness includes knowledge of all different plenary expansions of Krishna, namely Brahma, Narasimha, Varaha, etc. And as Krishna is transcendental to the system of the four divisions of human society, a person in Krishna consciousness is also transcendental to all divisions of human society, whether we consider that divisions of community, nation, or species. So here Krishna is speaking to Arjuna about Varnasrama system established by himself. Now, in any society to function successfully, there has to be a system. Otherwise, there will be a total chaos. Each one doing whatever he likes to do, and there is no proper authority to follow, and then no guidance from anybody. So there will be chaos. So here the Krishna is talking about creation of Varnasrama system, and he categorizes the people by their quality and then acquired quality as well as the occupation they do, that is work they do, into four different categories: Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. These are the four categories Krishna is categorizing, which have been named by Krishna, but otherwise also this a sort of a system is always existent in existence any society. So here in the purport we see Prabhupada telling Krishna is the creator of everything, and everything, when it is annihilated, it rests in Krishna. And even though he is the creator, he is not affected by these varnas. So the categorization is finished now. Now we should know what are the characteristics of these divisions. For example, Brahmana class. Brahmana class are supposed to be very intelligent class in the society. They are always engaged in learning the Vedas and then trying to preach to others whatever they have learned, and then they will be engaged in the giving advice to the rulers. In the olden days, everything was monarchy. The king used to be rule the different sections of the earth. Or if you go back a few thousand years ago, there was one ruler for the entire planet Earth. So these intelligent people, they are there in that any society, and then they will be advising the royal rulers. That's how the society is functioning, and Brahmanas form the very important part of the whole body of this Varnasrama system, in the sense they form the head. Intelligence is in our head. So if there is no head, then nothing else will exist in the human body. So because being very intelligent, and they because of their nature of qualities, they are said to be in mode of goodness. And then the next class of categorization by Krishna is Kshatriyas. Kshatriyas are the rulers, and they are again they have their own characteristics like courageous in battle. They go and wage the war with courage. They show heroism, and then they rule. They help Brahmanas by giving charity, and so many other characteristics are listed here. They are powerful, and they excel in their determination. They are very resourceful, and then I told you already generosity. That means they give charity to their Brahmins, and they show the leadership qualities. Whereas the Brahmanas, which I described earlier, generally they are peaceful, self-controlled, and they engage in austerities, and they are very pure, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, religiousness. And the third category is Vaishyas. Vaishyas generally mean the mercantile class, who are engaged in business, cow protection, or land agriculture, that type of activities. So, and then there is a fourth category, which are named as Sudras. Again, they support other three Varnas in their, by doing some labor workers, stuff like that. So that's about it. We have briefly described Krishna defining the Chaturvarnam. Arjuna here is his disciple where Krishna is speaking. So he belonged to Kshatriya. Kshatriya categories, we have learned that there will be heroism, they will be powerful, and they are very powerful, and they don't hesitate to wage the battle. But Arjuna is in a dilemma, and he is actually declining to act as a Kshatriya. And he gives various reasons in chapter 1 and 2 not to fight. And so that's the context here. The scene is set, and Krishna is now giving transcendental knowledge. And Krishna in 18th chapter says that if one follows this Varnashrama Dharma system, so generally they are not affected by sinful reactions, as long as they also do bhakti yoga by the process of nine process of devotional service. So duties performed according to one's prescribed duties are never affected by sinful reaction. That's what Krishna is telling in 18th chapter. And Krishna also tells in 18th chapter that every endeavor is always covered by some faults anywhere in human society. Just as fire is covered by smoke, so every endeavor. So that does not mean that we should give up our occupational duty and take up the other man's occupational duty. So Krishna says, you do your occupational duty even though it is done imperfectly, that is all right. Rather than taking up some other occupational duty and doing it perfectly. In other words, if you see the context here, Arjuna is confused. He doesn't want to fight. He is a Kshatriya, he doesn't want to fight, and he wants to renounce, and then so many reasons he gives. That means Arjuna is trying to get away from Kshatriya duty and then go towards Brahmana or sannyasi renunciation. So that is not recommended here. Now, having spoken about this introduction, so I would like to go to the Bhagavatam section there, where this Varnasrama system topic is elaborately discussed at various points of Bhagavatam, and then Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad Gita. So it's a vast subject, and we'll go to the Bhagavatam section where Krishna is again instructing, giving instructions to Uddhava. Uddhava is a pure devotee of Krishna. So where he is also speaking of apad dharma. Varnasrama dharma is something defined. So apad dharma means what you can do in an emergency. In an emergency, a Brahmana can do agriculture or cow protection. That is usually reserved for Vaishyas, In an emergency, you can always do other men's duties. Similarly, royal order or king can do the functions of a Brahmana. He can learn some Vedas and try to preach for his sustenance. Or Vaishyas can do the work of Shudras, supporting the other Varnas by doing some service. And Shudras, generally they will have a master, and Prabhupada says in that Srimad Bhagavatam, if they don't have a master, they can engage in simple occupation like making a basket or a straw mat, something like that, and survive. So in an emergency, you can always deviate from what you Varna you belong, and then do the other occupation. So Prabhupada gives an example here in that Bhagavatam. In the absence of a big banyan tree, castor seed tree is considered as big. Similarly, in the absence of qualified Brahmana, we can give the instructions to the Vaishyas or Shudras. So that's how it is. But as soon as the emergency is finished, one should go back to his normal occupational duties. So that's what Prabhupada says here. That means the castor seed tree remains big only in the absence of banyan tree. When the banyan tree manifests itself, castor tree loses its importance as the biggest tree. So that is how, in the initial days of our movement, Prabhupada started with Brahmin initiation to various Western devotees. So he did not consider, whether they are qualified or. The emergency was there. Apad dharma was being followed there, because Prabhupada has to first create some head. Head means Brahmanas. Brahmanas means who can guide others. Prabhupada was also criticized for this by other caste Brahmanas. So one thing we have to know important is this Varnasrama system is not classified by birth. In other words, a Brahmin's son not necessarily become a Brahmana by virtue of his birthright. So he has to acquire the qualities. Similarly, Kshatriya's son need not be Kshatriya. So it is not a birthright. So if you go into the present day context, everywhere, equal rights, equal rights between men and women, equal rights in anti-discrimination laws, stuff like that. So they criticize this Krishna's Varnashrama dharma by saying it is highly discriminatory. So where were we? We are talking about it is not a birthright to claim your proprietorship over Brahmanism or Kshatriya. So it has to come naturally acquired qualities and then your propensities, where you are interested. So we will again go back to the Chaitanya Charitamrita. There was a discussion between Ramananda Rai and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is on the left altar there. On the left altar, towards our right is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Towards our left is Nityananda Prabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had his pastimes, which are all described in Chaitanya Charitamrita here by Krishna Raj Kaviraj Goswami. So there in one of the chapters there is a discussion happening between Ramananda Raya and Mahaprabhu. So when Mahaprabhu questions Ramananda Raya, what is the ultimate aim of life? Ramananda Raya quotes from Vishnu Purana. First, it's the beginning of the discussions. So he quotes from Vishnu Purana that if one follows Varnashrama Dharma faithfully, he will achieve the perfection. But Mahaprabhu rejects this proposal by Ramananda Raya as saying that it is external. So, in other words, he was prompting Ramananda Raya to go further. So critics have labeled this discussion as, they take this instance as, to reject, they say that Mahaprabhu has rejected Varnashrama Dharma altogether. But from our side, we have to, take guidance from other acharyas, what exactly this means. So in this connection, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who is there in the right picture there, who is in our parampara, he says Mahaprabhu has not rejected Varnashrama Dharma as a lifestyle. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected Varnashrama Dharma as a life goal. So these two we have to differentiate. Life goal is to, according to Mahaprabhu, to attain the ultimately love of Sri Krishna. Whereas Varnashrama Dharma is a lifestyle which creates an environment or ambience to practice bhakti. So our life's ultimate goal is not Varnashrama Dharma, but we should go higher than that. That's what Mahaprabhu rejects Ramananda Raya's proposal, first initial proposal. Many people say Mahaprabhu has rejected the Varnashrama Dharma, but our Acharya clarifies that no, he has not rejected the Varnashrama Dharma as a lifestyle, but he has rejected the Varnashrama Dharma's goal, as a goal. Now, in order to substantiate this, Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives several examples. Mahaprabhu taught the whole world by way of his pastimes, in which He was a grihastha initially and then became sannyasa subsequently. He took sannyasa ashram. So this fact itself proves that he practiced varnashrama lifestyle. Not only that, Mahaprabhu married a second time, even though he knew that shortly he will be taking up sannyas. Mahaprabhu married second time. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur says he did this because the varnashrama dharma system dictates that one should not be alone in the house. So he should, if he is living in the house, he should live with the wife. Grihasthasana. So that's why he marries. In other words, Mahaprabhu is strictly following the principles there. He is demonstrating through his pastimes. So he gets married second time. That means that's a pastime there, and we should learn that he is following the varnashrama dharma. And another pastime is where Mahaprabhu demonstrates that he is strictly following sannyasa. His servant Govinda, once Mahaprabhu asked Govinda some haritaki. Haritaki is a herb. Govinda immediately gives Mahaprabhu haritaki herb. Then Mahaprabhu asked Govinda, when I asked haritaki yesterday, you took some time and then gave this herb to me, whereas today you are giving immediately the same herb to me. Why is that? Then Govinda, the servant, replies that yesterday when you asked, he searched for haritaki and took some time and gave him. At the same time, he saved some haritaki for use in future. Then Mahaprabhu says that is not the principle of sannyas. Sannyas means no storing for future. Not even tomorrow. You depend on Krishna for tomorrow. So that means that pastime tells us how strictly he was following the principle of sannyas. On the one hand, here previously we learned that he has rejected varnashrama dharma, and then people say that Mahaprabhu has, since he has rejected, we will also reject. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is clarifying very clearly here. Another pastime. Once Devadasi was singing, glorifying Lord Jagannath in Puri, and Mahaprabhu was not on external consciousness at all. So he heard this, and then immediately he became ecstatic and started running towards from where the singing is being heard, in the same direction, to go and hug. Again Govinda, I think it's Govinda or I think it's Swarup Damodar, I am not getting recollected. But he stops Mahaprabhu and then tells Mahaprabhu, you are going to running to embrace a woman who is singing the glories of Lord Jagannath. Lord Jagannath is on the right altar. Today they have come back from their sickness, they became all right. That's the mood of our worship. All these 2 weeks they were absent there. Today morning only, that's why you see the special darshan there. That darshan will not be there any part of the year. Only today you can see that. Shankha, Chakra, and Balaram is having that, what do you call it? Plow, yeah, plow. So special darshan, I think only one day we will get it. So, again, where were we? Mahaprabhu was running to embrace. So, Govinda stops him and tells that it is being sung by a woman. And Mahaprabhu comes to the consciousness, external consciousness, and he says, Govinda, you have saved me today from committing suicide. That again demonstrates how strictly Mahaprabhu followed the Varnasrama Dharma. So Varnasrama Dharma actually forms the foundation to practice Bhagavad Dharma. And Bhagavad Dharma means, you practice your 9 processes of devotional service, sadhana bhakti, and then achieve perfection. So without Varnasrama Dharma, it's not easy. And another pastime which is I have noted down here is Kurma Brahmana. In Kurma Kshetra, there was a Brahmana called Kurma Brahmana. So he meets Mahaprabhu and then he expresses that he is fed up with material miseries and then he wants to follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wherever he goes. But Mahaprabhu denies his request and advises him to stay wherever he is and preach Krishna consciousness. So, Kurma Brahmana was a Grihastha. So, Mahaprabhu encouraged Kurma Brahmana to be in the Grihastha asrama. So, these are all the various pastimes where we can learn that Mahaprabhu was in a strong favor of Varnasrama Dharma. The conclusion of this pastime is Mahaprabhu rejected the Varnasrama Dharma as a life's ultimate goal, but he embraced it as a lifestyle and demonstrated it through his pastimes that he himself supported this system. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur also says, as long as we have material body, we must follow body and mind, we must follow Varnasrama Dharma. So Varnasrama Dharma is mainly focusing on material body and mind. Bhagavad Dharma mainly focuses on the soul. And once and Bhaktivinoda Thakur also says, once we follow Varnasrama Dharma meticulously, that is occupation according to our nature, acquired nature and mode of nature, it paves the way for creating a strong society where to practice bhakti it becomes very easy. I think all of you got my point. If you have a strong and sound, robust Varnasrama Dharma, then you can practice bhakti very safely, very soundly. Otherwise, there will be imbalance. Suppose you overemphasize on transcendental aspects and neglect Varnasrama Dharma, then what happens? You will always be thinking of going back to Godhead. You will be focused on going back to Godhead. Wherever you go, you ask the question, how to go back to Godhead or something related to go back to Godhead. So you will be actually, focused on too much of transcendental side and neglect the material body and mind. Any comments or questions at this point of time? All of you are getting some idea about Varnashrama Dharma, why we should follow, what is Krishna is telling. And another aspect is, if you too much emphasize on transcendental Bhagavad Dharma or transcendental aspects of your spiritual practice, there may be a tendency to accelerate your renunciation or whatever you call it. So that may create further problems, where we have seen, sometimes sannyasis stepping down out of their sannyas ashram and getting married and entering into the grihastha ashram at the age of 60, 65. These things also we have seen. So that is the result. Why that has happened is because too much of emphasis on transcendence. So we have to balance. We have to practice Varnashrama Dharma as well as Bhagavad Dharma. Then we will be safe and secured. In initial days, Prabhupada was criticized for giving, sannyas diksha, Brahman diksha for unqualified people or too prematurely. In fact, I think in Australia, second visit of Prabhupada, he gave some initiations to Brahmin initiations to some new people who are only few weeks into the movement. But that was an emergency situation. So, like we talked about the banyan tree and castor seed tree. In the absence of banyan tree, castor seed tree is regarded as big. So there was emergency, there was no qualified Brahmanas. So what to do? Prabhupada gave, and not only gave Brahmin initiation, he prayed to the deities. I think it was in Melbourne. He prayed to the deities, please inspire them somehow to learn all the Brahminical courses so that they can take care of you deities nicely. Please protect them. Like that Prabhupada prayed initial days. And then later on, after 10 years, I think during 76 or 77, Prabhupada mentioned that it is not necessary for everyone to take Brahman initiation. Initial days, he even initiated, even without proper qualification, because the emergency situation. So Krishna teaches Uddhava, emergency is apad dharma, you can deviate. But once the emergency passes, then you should go back to your normal mode. So in 77, Prabhupada said, you don't have to, every Brahman, everyone need not be initiated as Brahman. Why? Because whichever situation you are, you can go back to Godhead by perfecting your sadhana. So sometimes we see in South India or somewhere very pakka Vaishnava Brahmins, some sampradaya. They respect Krishna, they worship Krishna with all the opulence and everything. Yet they don't hesitate in criticizing the Varnasama Dharma. They criticize strongly Varnasama Dharma. That we can see. I have also seen few places in India. Maybe they may be influenced by the political, the caste system, reservation or whatnot in India. But that is not correct. When you worship Krishna, when you love Krishna, you cannot undermine a system whose source is Krishna again, which is coming from Krishna. So you should be aware of that. So you love Krishna and also you love Krishna's system. So there are a few categories I will tell you now. There will be a category which do not love Krishna and do not love Krishna's system. That category is Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu told that I will kill Vishnu and then I will offer Vishnu's blood as an offering to my brother Hiranyaksha. That's his statement. That means he neither loves Krishna nor Krishna's system. The second category there who respects Krishna but does not love Krishna. In this category, we can put Shukracharya, Jarasandha. They loved Krishna's system, but not Krishna. Jarasandha was highly disposed of favorably giving charity to Brahmanas. In other words, he is following Krishna's system, Varnasama Dharma. He respected Brahmins, Jarasandha, on one hand. On the other hand, he is going on invading, once after next, 18 times he invades Dwarka to kill Krishna. So he is respecting the Krishna system, but he is rejecting, he is not loving Krishna. So that's second category. The third category is you love Krishna, but then you reject Krishna's system. Examples are Bhishmadeva and Dronacharya. Bhishmadeva and Dronacharya, they loved Krishna, they worshipped Krishna. But if you analyze the whole Mahabharata, they became the main obstacle for Dharma Rajya to be established. That means Dharmaraj to become king. Yudhishthira Maharaj is also called Dharmaraj. So they became main obstacle. So they loved Krishna, but did not, there may be justifications or whatever reasons they may give, but in the end, they did not approve of Krishna's system and then they paid the penalty for that. And the fourth category is who love Krishna as well as honor Krishna's system, follow Krishna's system in all respects. There are several examples: Narada, Pandava, Prithu Maharaj, like that. So anything, any questions or comments? Today's lecture. So whenever something we learn, we have to always analyze the context. What context it is being said. Bhaktivinoda Thakur given about strong warning. If the main reason for birth of apasampradayas is that if an empowered acharya gives an instruction in an extraordinary circumstance, extraordinary time, in an extraordinary place, and if you take those instructions given in all extraordinary parameters and make it a general rule for all time to come, then the apasampradaya will be born. Bhaktivinoda Thakur warns this. That's why we should also, in Prabhupada or whoever is telling, we should take Prabhupada's instruction and try to learn eternal principle separating the context, always. The context is separate. Prabhupada might have told something to a particular audience and particular time. Somebody is challenging Prabhupada, or somebody is in a humble mood asking Prabhupada. So we should analyze the context and then take out the context and try to learn if there is any eternal principle there. Otherwise it is apasampradaya. So if there is no question, anybody has got any question or comment? I will stop here, and I think the next session will be chanting. Taravali Jain is already distributing the chanting beads, so they will continue to chant, and Vishnuvamsha Prabhu will demonstrate how to chant. And I request all of you to participate in that program. That is very important as well. Hare Krishna.